All right. My name is Chandler Smith. I'm the education librarian here at LSU of New Orleans, and today we're just doing a quick little 20-minute-ish overview of EndNote, just kind of an introduction to its basic features and covering two of the new main features they added in this software update last year. So the objectives of today are going to be where to find the EndNote 25 download and install, as it is a software install on your computer. A live demo covering the basic features and new features in EndNote 25, how to import citations from a few different databases, and then using the EndNote 25 add-in that works both for Microsoft Word and Google Docs. What is EndNote 25? It's a software that allows you to, well, really it's citation management software is the correct name of it, but it's a software that allows you to organize your research, import references from databases, build a bibliography quickly, and share references with others, to collaborate with other researchers and co-authors and everything. Databases typically have files that are called .ris files, so you can import into your citation manager. PubMed is its own file type called .mbib, but it's essentially the same thing, and we'll see that later when we download a citation from PubMed. And then that link there at the bottom is our resource guide to the citation managers that we subscribe to on campus, both being EndNote 25 and RefWorks. We have, as I just mentioned, we have RefWorks as well, but that is being rebranded to EndNote Fusion on October 6th. RefWorks is obviously owned by Clarivate, who also owns EndNote, and they are rebranding EndNote or RefWorks to EndNote Fusion. And they were just released some details of that, like quite literally this week, including the update or the day they're going to make the update, but I still haven't seen like enough like what the actual changes are. Other than they claim it's just like user interface changes and like visual changes, but we'll get more information as it comes sooner. And we'll also be doing a session on EndNote Fusion once that update's fully pushed out. And I mentioned Zotero there at the bottom because it's free, and also some librarians use that for some other projects in the library. So there's some people who know at least enough about Zotero to troubleshoot it. Should you use Zotero instead? How to access EndNote 25? There's a few ways to do so, but generally it's just through the library's website. You can just go to the databases button right there, or it's under popular links as well, to get to the download page. If you click on the databases page, it brings you to this web page, and it's just highlighted under popular resources right there, or under E in the A to Z list. The new features in EndNote 25, EndNote 25 came out in 2025, so these are features about a year old now. But the two new features were find a journal feature where you can like put the title and abstract of your manuscript into the citation managers add-in in Word and Google Docs, and it will try to match journals that it thinks are relevant to the title and abstract of your manuscripts. But we have other resources for this at the library as well. One of those is Jane, the journal author and name estimator, and then Cavils gives reports for reputable journals and predatory publisher reports to help you navigate the landscape of getting or finding out correct places to submit your manuscript. And also a new feature is AI-powered summaries of papers. Basically, if you upload a PDF into EndNote, it gives you the ability to summarize the paper. It really just gives you like 3 bullet points summary of the paper, which is to me is like less information in the abstract. So I'm not really a big fan of this feature, but we'll still go over it anyways. And then there's a summary panel redesign. I don't remember what the EndNote 21s looked like anymore at this point, but EndNote 25 is much better. It's a big improvement of what the previous version was for 21. So just again, what we're covering in the live demo is just how to import references from various databases. The find duplicates feature in EndNote 25 to make sure we're not to make sure we get rid of the extra citations that we found in different databases. Creating groups, which are basically folders, and how to add collaborators to those groups. And then demonstrating how to find a journal and summarize paper features. And then the add-in in Microsoft Word and Google Docs. This will be the gist of today. So the citations we'll be pulling from are from PubMed, Web of Science, and Embase. Those are all owned by different companies, which is why I picked those 3. So the process is a little different for all 3. It just kind of depends by database, but I selected those 3 just because they're all different. We'll go ahead and start with PubMed. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you could please leave all questions till the end, I'll answer at the very end. So first off, actually, we'll find how to actually get to EndNote 25 from the library's website. Just go to databases, and it's right there under popular resources, or you can find it under E as well. If you click right here, it'll bring you to this page, and it gives information about what EndNote actually is and how about the install process. So if you click on this, it'll prompt you to sign in because it's hidden behind a login essentially, but it gives you the steps on how to install depending on what your situation is for your computer. So if you PC versus Mac, Windows 10 versus Windows 11, or on campus versus off campus, like a work laptop or workstation versus not having, or your own personal one rather, excuse me. So the install is different for all those scenarios, and so this guide kind of helps you determine which scenario applies to you and how to actually make it work for you to install. So that's how you actually get to EndNote in the first place. But going to PubMed, we will just pick up a random citation out of here. Let's go to a different page. I'm trying to pull the same one. So we'll just pick this article. We'll say it meets the criteria we want. In PubMed, you can just pull a singular citation out by clicking Cite right here, and it brings up this little box, and you can click the download.mbib file. As I mentioned earlier, PubMed's file type's unique. The .mbib is the equivalent of like a .ras file in different databases, which is what you'll usually see, but PubMed is just called .mbib. So we'll download that, and I'll download it twice to trigger the duplicates feature for later. But if you're to export multiple, you can click, the check boxes right here, and from there you can click send to clipboard, and then you can pull it to a citation manager that way. And send to citation manager, and then all results. You can pick your different results, kind of thing. So that's how you would bulk export in PubMed. But I'll put that there. And then we've said Embase as well. Stick with lung cancer. Kind of the same thing. You can click on the little check boxes to bulk export, or you can click on the individual one to find the article as well, and click on the export from there. And when you click export, it brings up this little window, and you can select this. You have like direct export for RefWorks if you're using RefWorks, but we'll just stick with the RAS format, clicking export, and should sort of download right there for us. So that's how you pull one out of Embase. And then the last one I said was Web of Science. We'll go there. Great. Pick another random one. Once again, you can kind of see the checkbox on the left-hand side here to select multiples. And then right here at the top is exports. And this one, I believe I was signed, was by my Clarivate, as you can see at the top here. So there's a little integration with it. But we'll just pull the file type right here because it's straightforward. And sometimes they give customization on what you can actually download from these files. If it gives me the option, I usually like to have the abstract. So I'll click export. I should just download the file. So we pulled out our 3 citations we want to add for to import into EndNote. As I mentioned, EndNote is a desktop application, an install. So you'll install it, and when you open it, you'll be prompted to create a library. I can't recreate these steps; I've already done so. But this is what EndNote looks like when you fire it up and have references listed here for you. How to actually import your references? You just click Import File, Choose, and we downloaded these. So we'll just pull this individual one right here, open, and just import. You can also, if you go in your File Explorer, go to your downloads, you can just double click it, and it should just open up in EndNote automatically, which is a little more straightforward, I think. So I usually do it that way, but there's multiple ways to import it into EndNote. It should be a recent. It should be appear on your recently added right here. It gives you the last updated date right there. So now I'll kind of cover the left-hand toolbar right here because it's kind of where some of the main functions are. So you have like all your references that you just have saved in your library right here. Your imported references, and then which is usually just the last one you've imported. Your recently added, which is kind of like from like the last day, I think. And then your trash, you have to manually clear the trash out for it to actually go away forever. Just if you accidentally delete something as a safeguard. You have groups here, which are essentially folders. You can create new groups by just right-clicking on groups right here and hitting create group. You can also create smart groups, which create a groups. It creates a group out of a criterion you set. I'll just demonstrate that real quick. So you click on smart group. You can name your smart group. And so what you can do is fill out these fields here, and it will pull information from the citations you've imported and create a group based off that. So I'll start with, you can select like author, your title, and it gives you like many options here, but we'll leave these as the default. I'll do this person's name I see here at the top, Barnett, hit create, and it should pull those 2 articles right there for me into a group. So it's one way to create groups. I don't know like the best way to create a group, but it's another feature or another way to do so, should you want to do it that way. If you want to create a regular group, you just hit create group, and it just starts one for you right here. You can see I've done many cancer test groups before, so these are all our test groups. And so how you can move one into a group is just by clicking and dragging there, and it'll just move it into the group for you. And how to share a group, if you right-click on a certain group, or a particular group rather, it gives the option to share a group right here, and you click on this menu, or that item rather, and then you're going to type in the email address separated by commas to people you want to invite to share the group to. And you can change your permissions here as well. We have read only, which means they can't edit anything essentially, but the default is read and write. So just to be mindful of that, the default is it gives permissions for people to edit the group essentially. Just whether you want them to do so or not, it's up to you, but that's just the default setting. You just type in the email address right there. It should send a generated email, and you can add a message into the generated email as well should you want to do so. Tags are another way to edit or organize your references. You can create tags to organize how you see fit. And those work inside groups too. So like I'm in my Cancer 2 group here, and as you can see that little tag I have right here, test tag shows up here, but it also pulls it into a separate category under tags. So it's just another way to use to organize your references. And how you would add a tag is just right-clicking on a reference here and just clicking Manage Tags, and you can create tags, and that's like the ones I have set here. So they maybe have like a yes or no if you're like trying to screen something in the preliminary stages of a manuscript. If you add a tag to something, you can remove it right here if you accidentally add it. So I'll add it right there. And then if I want to manage it, just click the X right here, and then it's gone. So that's how tags operate. And at the bottom here, we have a bunch of features that I don't particularly use too much. The find full text. It's just not, I think it's for if you have like references that have the full text attached to it. It's not really a feature I would use as citation management for. Right here is group shared by others. That's actually important. That means a group that's been shared with you will appear here essentially. And then we have the online search, which I would just steer away from using this because this is just the worst version of like the full function of a database, just kind of contained inside the environment of EndNote 25. So you're kind of missing features of the database. I don't really recommend it as a way to search for literature inside of this. So, but I just wanted to point those things out. So I kind of I'm just going to gloss over those things. When you click on a reference though, it pulls up this menu right here on the right hand side. This is what got redesigned in EndNote 25, and it's a lot better essentially. Before it had like a lot of scrolling and didn't have enough information, and it's much more navigable now. So You can like select the citation format down here if you want to just like pull the reference out and copy it into like a bibliography or something really quickly. It also shows where the groups it appears into. And if you have a PDF attached to an article or to a citation, it gives a little paperclip icon right there. And if you menu over here to the PDF, it will appear in here for you. It can be a little clunky sometimes because it's not quite a full window, but you can zoom out and everything if you need to do so. And if you need to find the summarize feature, it's the research assistant right here. It's the little 3 stars. I think this one's a copyright protection, so it won't let you do it. But if you find one that does, I think this one does right here. It will just generate something. Yeah. So whether that's useful or not, it's up to you, I guess. It just seems like not very much information to me. I think you're better off just reading the abstract at this point. But that's how you operate that feature. If you need to add a PDF, you just go from summary to PDF right here, and you can attach the PDF, and it'll go to your file explorer. And that's how you add at that point. Another key feature of the citation managers are finding duplicates, because when you're working in different databases, you may download the same citation without realizing it. It's very common, especially when you're working on like a scoping or systematic review. It's almost certainly going to happen if you're using the same search string in different databases. How you do that is going into library and find duplicates. And we should find some since I downloaded the same one twice. And so what happens when a duplicate's found is it brings up this window and it gives you the chance to manually assess the 2 citations in the database on both hands. And so you get to pick one to keep and one to discard, or you can just skip if you are not sure or want to take more time to look at and deal with another one. We'll keep the one on the left-hand side here. And it should just move it into trash automatically. So you can see my references went down from 47 from 48 to 47. So it should just go to the trash automatically. In that point, if you need to pull your trash out, it's that other trash can with the X icon right there. And if you need to restore selected references, you can do so with that one on the right, if something went into the trash on accident. Okay. At this point, I think we'll pop over to the add-in feature. So I'm just going to use Google Docs for this. But how you would add it in Google Docs is clicking extensions. And then once you've installed it, it's EndNote Cite while you write, and you click open, and it will pull up this little menu bar on the right-hand side here. I'll show you how to do it in Word real quick as well. From the home menu in Word, click add-ins, and these should be the only 2 you should be able to add in if you're using like a workstation on campus because of the restrictions with add-ins. But it's the RefWorks one and the EndNote one. So we're using EndNote, so we want the EndNote one. You should click on it, and it will pull up as well. So this should this syncs with your EndNote library. So everything you have in your EndNote library should appear here. If it's not the case, you can manually sync by clicking the little hamburger menu on the left-hand side here and clicking sync now. You can also change your citation style right here. There's like thousands and thousands of citation formats. Those are just some default ones right there. If you just select another style, you can search right there as well. Pretty much any citation format you can imagine will be in here, I hope, because it is in the thousands. I think like 7,000 different citation formats. But I'll leave it on APA for now. The Find a Journal feature that I mentioned earlier is right here in this hamburger menu as well. You can click on it and put your title and abstract in here. And I will do that right now from my manuscript. And what this does, it tries to find journals that match the contents of your title and abstract. And just at a glance, I was pretty unimpressed with what it came back to me. So it's worth using just to try it and see if you have if anything helpful comes out of it. But we do here at the library actually offer the service of helping find journals to publish your manuscript in. And as I mentioned, we have Jane and Cavils to assist you as well if you feel like doing that on your own. But if you ever feel like you have an issue or need assistance with finding a journal to publish in, that's what we are here for at the library. So please feel free to reach out for help. This is just another tool, I guess, to help you find a journal to publish in, but that's where it's located. It's a new feature they pushed heavily, so I figured I would show it. And from your references here, you can actually you can operate from your all references, which is every reference you have in your EndNote library, or you can operate from your groups to pick a reference. You can sort it by title, author, year, or ascending and descending, that kind of thing. So we'll leave it there and let it load. So how to actually insert a citation in text for your manuscript, you just find whatever sentence you're citing and click the little checkbox right there and click insert citation. And it should generate it in APA 7 format for in-text. This also works for multiple citations as well. So you can select 2 right there and click insert citation. And it should generate that. All right. And so let's say you've written your manuscript and you have dozens of different citations. How's the bibliography get generated? You just click update citations right here at the bottom, and it should put a reference list down here for us. Yeah, all correct in APA 7 format. This is probably the main reason why most people use citation managers is to make the manuscript writing process much easier with the organization of your citations and generating your bibliography quickly. That being said, it's always a good idea to still manually check your reference list and your in-text citations, because sometimes sometimes they're wrong essentially, and why that is because it'd be from the file type you download from a database. Sometimes the metadata in those files are wrong. For example, I've seen like an author name flipped, like their first name was the last name and it was incorrect. And then for one demo I did here one time for RefWorks, I think I downloaded a citation from CINAHL and the year published date was 2028. So that will look in the future, and that hadn't happened yet. So that was obviously wrong. So it's still good to, manually check these things, even though it gets the formatting right. And 99% of the time gets the content right, but it's still worth a once over with your own eyes to verify it's correct. So that is a very short introduction to EndNote. I'll pop over to the chat to see if there's any questions. If anyone has any questions, feel free to type those in the chat as well. Give it a second to anyone to ask any questions if needed. Any questions in the room? Okay, well, let me pop over back to the slides. Oh, someone did. Yeah, I don't know if I'm able to hear you.
Yeah, I have a question.
Without a speaker,
can you hear me?
Feel free to talk. Photos and graphics. If the photo and graphic has a way to get a citation exported and then put into EndNote, yes. That might depend on the database you're pulling. If you're pulling the photo or graphic from like a database or like a website, sometimes those websites have like a cite this button and you can like pull a file type out of that, or it might try to like generate it for you in a correct format. But it kind of just depends really where you're pulling that photo or graphic from is the answer. Because the way that works is the way it's creating the citation for you is because it's basing it off metadata that you've imported into EndNote 25, if that makes sense. Okay. The person whose hand's raised, you can try speaking. I don't know if I'll be able to hear you. Oh, okay. Product key for installation. Okay. If it depends on if you're on Windows 10 or 11, I guess, for your personal PC too. The EndNote, I will say sometimes the install process for EndNote is not always very easy, to say the least. So for personal PCs, sometimes with the personal PCs, I've had help install with people sometimes is uninstalling it, then reinstalling again. I've done that with people's personal PCs before, and it's worked the second time or third time doing it, which seems a little silly, but that's just how it works sometimes. So I'd recommend trying that first, like uninstalling your EndNote app and clearing out the files completely, like the installer and everything, then re-downloading it and trying to do that again. And if it doesn't work after the second or third time, please reach out to us and we can get in contact with you about how to actually fix that. But most times it works the first time, but if it doesn't work after I've tried to install it a second or third time, it will usually just load correctly as it's supposed to. I don't know why it does that. I haven't really been able to find the reason why. The install is also managed by IT, so it's sometimes out of our hands as to why the install is not working, just to give a full picture there. Okay. All right, questions? So contact info, the general contact info is the top right there. It's just, that's our reference email. Any of the librarians can see that email account. So if you have a general question, that's a good place to go to. That phone number is our front desk phone number if you need help. And that's another quick way to get an answer from us. That's my personal contact info right there. So for the person who was having trouble with the install, if it's still giving you trouble, you can email me directly. We can go from there. And our last slide here is just how to keep up with us. That's our Instagram on the left-hand side. In the center there is a QR code for our email list to sign up. The email list, it comes out bi-month or twice a month, and we'll have new resources or our information sessions like this one that we do each month. And then the right-hand side is our presentation feedback form. We're required to collect feedback on our presentations. It's 4 questions of like, good, great, bad, average, that kind of thing, plus 1 optional comment box for our instruction.